something very cool happened this afternoon. I finally got DALL-E 2 access. I've been on the waiting list for months and I've wanted to get my hands on it and play around with it ever since it got announced, so I've been waiting a long time and I really wanted to do a follow-up video to my last video where I challenged Midjourney to recreate my art. I basically described the concept behind my art and then I asked Midjourney to recreate it, and I'm really excited to do the same thing with DALL-E 2 because I actually recently bought the full version of Midjourney. It's very expensive but very worth it. I've been having so much fun with it. I'll show on the screen some of the really cool images I've been creating with it. But I had so much fun with my last video, and while I've been experimenting with Midjourney, I've learned that Midjourney isn't very good with specific prompts. It can create some really beautiful results, but it's very hard to get it to make exactly what you have in your head. And DALL-E 2, I've messed around with it a little bit. I'll show you what I've made so far. I think it's a lot better at doing very specific prompts, and I've seen others do very specific prompts with it and it's done really well, so I'm really interested to see how well it can recreate my art. It also has a more stock photo-y vibe and is very focused on photorealistic images, and my art is obviously very not photorealistic. I tend to focus on very kind of flat 2D illustration kind of drawings. That's my vibe, that's what I'm going for. So I think it'll be fun to create something that's very different to what I usually create, and hopefully this is going to be a lot of fun just like the last video was. I welcome you to please watch the last video before you watch this one, and you can see a comparison of how I created my art, how Midjourney created it, and how DALL-E recreated it as well. So we're going to start with the first prompt, which is a very simple one that I was so surprised that Midjourney failed so hard at, and it's just this photorealistic colour pencil drawing of a burger that I did during my art A-level, back when I was doing a lot of realistic drawings. My project was food, and I'm expecting DALL-E to do really well on this one, and I will be very surprised if it doesn't. So the first prompt that I'm trying is a coloured pencil drawing of a burger with a seeded bun on white paper, and as you can see the results are quite nice. We can already see that these image results are a lot more coherent than what Midjourney was coming out with. Midjourney really struggled to draw anything that resembled an ordinary looking burger, but DALL-E right off the bat really just has such a clear understanding of what a burger is. It's so much more coherent. So I'm going to try again, but I'm going to specify that it's a photorealistic coloured pencil drawing, and we'll see what it comes out with this time. Okay, wow, these are really good. These are not quite exactly perfect because I would say that the colours are a little bit off and a little bit dark, but that's the only criticism I can give really. It's basically fulfilled the prompt like scarily well. Look at these, they're so good and so much better than what Midjourney came out with, so I think Midjourney's got a tough contender in this video. So in this AI versus artist challenge, I think DALL-E did just as well as I did, so I'm gonna give it a point, and it hands down beat Midjourney as well. So the next prompt is quite a complicated one. So here is the original image that I drew. It's kind of based on the throat chakra, and the prompt that I'm going with is a side profile of an Indian woman wearing planets as earrings. Rainbow liquid flows out from her throat, and we will see what DALL-E comes out with. I am excited for this one. I'm not initially going to specify that it is a drawing. I'm just kind of going to see what it does on its own, and then I'll probably type in digital art and see what it does. What the heck? Okay, yes, coherency, so much better than Midjourney. Midjourney couldn't get a side profile, this one did get a side profile. One of these images is actually kind of very similar to the original with the layout of the earrings. They're all pulling kind of a really creepy pained expression. Or maybe an expression of enjoyment. I mean, I guess it depends whatever your angle is on that one. It's weird that it put them all in like the same closed eye pose though. And obviously there's a couple uncanny artifacts here and there, but all in all these are pretty coherent faces and pretty coherent images, so I'm really impressed with this. So I think we're going to try it again, and we're just going to add in digital art somewhere into the prompt. Okay, so I added digital art onto the end of the prompt, and this is actually like, this AI is blowing my mind. So I added digital art onto the end of the prompt, and it seems to have just completely ignored me, but it did make the images better. Still some weirdness happening, like this one who is projectile vomiting a rainbow, and this one who is trying to taste some planets, and again they're all doing the same closed eye pose looking up. I don't know why, but the left one in particular, I really love this. I think the hairstyle looks very similar to the original drawing. None of them have rainbow liquid coming out of their throat, but I still think these images are so cool, and Dall-e is pretty damn good at faces actually, definitely compared to Midjourney. I'm gonna say that I really like these images actually, and I'm gonna say that I'm gonna give Dall-e another point, and once again it definitely did way better than Midjourney, which couldn't even generate a side profile very well. So the next drawing that I did in my original video is maybe a little impossible for Dall-e to recreate, because Dall-e can only create squares. There's no option to change the aspect ratio, so taking that into account, I'm going to give Dall-e a little bit of an easier time with this one. So here is the original drawing. So I think I'm going to do the exact same prompt that I gave to Midjourney, which is a colourful vector illustration showing a row of rainbow male faces glitching and phasing in and out of reality. In the background are colourful geometric shapes. A very long and complicated prompt, but it is a very long and complicated image, and I was impressed with how well that Midjourney did with this. So let's press generate and let's see what Dall-e does. Can you hear the joy in my voice making this video, by the way? I'm loving this. This is really fun. Wow! This is good. I really like the fourth one. That is so cool. I don't have anything more to say. I'm just like, this is so good. This is blowing my mind how good this is. Really impressed with how well Dall-e can handle these complicated prompts and come out with something coherent and cool looking. Just amazing. So point for Dall-e, just straight off the bat. Point for Dall-e, did better than Midjourney. Next one is potentially even more complicated though, so it is this hand drawing, which is kind of based on the Doctor Strange scene where his hands are growing out of his hands. I think this is kind of hard for the AI to understand because it's not very good at understanding something on something or something in something. I don't think it's so good with prepositions, so we will see what it does. Okay, so here's the first set of images that we got, and I think this is just a hard no, to be honest. I think the prompt was just a little bit too difficult for poor Dall-e to comprehend, so we're going to try a much simpler prompt, I think. Ooh, okay, so with the prompt infinite hand, we get these, which are better. I like the third one. Again, oh, that one has a lot of fingers. Do the other ones have a messed up amount of fingers as well? Because I know AI is kind of bad at hands. AI is kind of bad at maths and counting, which is kind of ironic for a computer, I think. Yeah, so this one on the left has a weird amount of fingers going on as well. So I will say, I know I've been very generous with the AI so far, and I've been giving it all of the points. I'm basically scoring it on the terms of, can it create something that I feel is kind of as good as I could make? do I feel like it captures the general creative vision that I had? And then if yes, I give it a point and I say it wins, because if it can do the same job as me but also make 4 versions and make them in like less than 30 seconds, then I say that it wins. And while I do like this image here, it does not actually fulfill the prompt this time, so I'm gonna give a point to myself and say that I beat the AI. Hello, I interrupt your screening of this program from the future. Real talk, I started filming this video absolutely yonks ago. And then I went to uni and I just completely forgot about it, and I'm just now editing it, but I'm just gonna show you on screen. I basically took a bunch of my art and then asked Dall-e to recreate it, and I'm just going to show you all of them and my scoring, which I feel like I was very fair, because if I don't, it's just going to take absolutely ages to go through all of them. This video is going to be like 50 minutes long. You don't care, you got places to be, you got shit to do, so I'm just going to go through all of them, and we're going to chat a little bit about AI art and how I feel about it while we watch this little compilation here. So I'm torn between thinking that AI art is very cool, because it is, and also thinking that it is a little bit of a scary concept. I still want to make a whole video where I talk a little bit more about that, but for now I will just say that continuing to experiment with it and keep on top of it is really good, because it gives me a good idea of where the technology is at. And I've uncovered that there's a couple things that it really just, like, hurdles that it cannot yet get over. For example, AI art will struggle to create something very specific, as we've seen both in this video and my previous one where I did Midjourney. It will struggle to create a character based off a description. It will always miss something, or it will confuse the details. For example, if you say red hair, green coat, a lot of the time it's gonna mix that up. It also cannot take the exact same object or character that it has made and perfectly recreate it in another pose from another angle. And these are just very key things that a human artist can do that AI art really struggles with. So I hope you enjoyed the video. I definitely enjoyed making it, and please stay tuned, because I am going to make a video about how I think we as artists can use AI art to our advantage. I have a video coming up, 7 ways that artists can use AI to enhance their work. Okay, here is the final score. Me versus Dall-e. It was a draw. What do you think? Do you agree with the scoring? I won't be offended if you don't, because obviously everyone has different subjective opinions on what they like and what they think looks good. But yes, thank you so much for watching this long as hell video. I hope you enjoyed it, and hopefully I will see you next time. Goodbye!